Deuteronomy chapter 1 verse 20. Moses wrote, "Then I said to you, you have come to the Amorite hill country, which the Lord our God is about to give us. Look, he has placed the land in front of you. Go up, take possession of it, just as you, the Lord, the God of your ancestors, said to do. Do not be afraid or discouraged." So all of you approached me and said, "Let's send some men ahead of us to scout out the land and bring us back word as to how we should attack it and what the cities are like there." I thought this was a good idea, so I sent 12 men from among you, one each of each tribe. They left and went up to the hill country, coming to the Eshcol Valley, which they scouted out. Then they took some of the produce of the land and carried it back down to us. They also brought a report saying, "The land that the Lord our God is about to give is good." Verse 26. "But you were not willing to go up, however, but instead rebelled against the Lord your God. You complained among yourselves privately and said, 'Because the Lord hates us, he brought us from Egypt to deliver us over to the Amorites, so they could destroy us. What is going to happen to us? Our brothers have drained away our courage by describing people who are more numerous and taller than we are, and great cities whose defenses appear to be as high as heaven itself. Moreover, they said that they saw Anakites there. So I responded to you, do not be terrified of them. The Lord your God is about to go ahead of you. He will fight for you, just as you saw him do it in Egypt and are in the desert. When you saw him carrying you along like a man carries his son. This he did everywhere you went until you come to this very place. However, through all this you did not have confidence in the Lord your God, the one who was constantly going before you to find places for you to set up camp. He appeared by fire at night and cloud by day to show you the way you ought to go. See, the Lord asked them, now is the time, go and enter, cross the Jordan River, go and enter the land. Then they sent scouts. Then they saw many, then they saw a lot of milk, and they saw the land is good, a lot of good stuff there, but they're also very tall and strong people defending the place. So they got very worried. Then Moses said, don't worry, the Lord already said, I will be with you. He will carry you like a father carries his son. Yet it is not enough. They are cowardly and also they are disobedient. Number one, they fear for themselves. They forgot the strength of the Lord that was with them. Number two, they also disobey the commandment. The commandment is very clear, written out. Moses said to them, yet they do not want to do it. When we use human logic, but not faith in God in deciding pathways in our life journey, this is what happens. We create excuses not to walk the extra mile and do the right thing. We make a mockery of what we read in the book of Philippians chapter 4:13. I can do all strength to him. I can do all things to him who gives me strength. Seriously, this word may, this phrase may be very cliche, but it's true. If God is for you, who can be against you? You fear failure and rejection and embarrassment more than the fear of disobeying God. This is what the Israelites fear. They fear for their own lives. They fear that they will die than the fear of disobeying God. In Exodus chapter 22 also we find the Israelites fall very easily into idol worship. They very easily find another symbol and representative for them to worship. Exodus chapter 22 verse 1 was written, when the people saw that Moses delayed in coming down from the mountain, they gathered around Aaron and said to him, get up, make us gods that will go before us. As for this fellow Moses, the man who brought us up from the land of Egypt, we do not know what has become of him. So Aaron said to them, pick off the gold earrings that are on the ears of your wives, your sons, and your daughters, and bring them to me. So all the people broke off the gold earrings that were on their ears and brought them to Aaron. He accepted the gold from them, fashioned it with an engraving tool, and made a molten calf. Then they said, these are your gods, O Israel, who brought you up out of Egypt. When Aaron saw this, he built an altar before it, and Aaron made a proclamation and said, "Tomorrow will be a feast to the Lord." So they got up early on the next day and offered up burnt offerings and brought peace offerings, and the people sat down to eat and drink, and they rose up to play. Verse 11, the Lord spoke to Moses, "Go quickly, descend, because your people, whom you brought up from the land of Egypt, have acted corruptly. They have quickly turned aside from the way that I commanded them. They have made for themselves a molten calf, and have bowed down to it and sacrificed to it and said, 'These are your gods, O Israel, which brought you up from the land of Egypt.'" You see, despite seeing the power of God, very fast they turned to something else. Because Moses went up to the mountains, they don't see Moses. I think they want another. They want a fast assurance. Oh, why don't we? They asked Aaron, what happened to Moses? Make us a God that will go before us. Very fast they will turn to another source of so-called strength. Very fast we will look for different kind of meanings of life. Then in our modern world, we will forget God and we turn to something else as our anchor, as our compass. What do we turn to? We turn to success in career to define ourselves. Oh, this is a very successful accountant. If one day the accountant loses his job, or a very successful CEO gets retrenched, he suddenly lost the meaning of life, go into depression, and maybe even commit suicide. If you make this kind of things as your anchor in life, you may be in trouble. You're walking on shaky ground. We also turn to money. And sometimes we idolize people. We make people as if they are like God. We worship them. Why do we do this kind of things? Is it because God's way is too difficult to follow? Is it because God's standards is too high for you? Are we trying to make things simpler and not go for the real thing? You know, the promised land is just there, but because we cannot go there, we walk here, there. If you look at I'm sorry I didn't have PowerPoint, I didn't prepare, but if I had PowerPoint, I would show you a map of the journey from when they left Egypt and they crossed the Red Sea, and how they finally one day they reached the land of Canaan. You can also see that in the book of Numbers chapter 33. Okay, maybe we just all go to Numbers chapter 33. Moses had summarized a bit stages in Israel's journey. Chapter 33, here are the stages in the journey of the Israelites when they came out of Egypt by divisions under the leadership of Moses and Aaron. So you can see from verse 3 all to the end of the chapter 33, verse 55, and also chapter 34. They went to so many places, they went to one place, then they camped there, then they decamped, then go to another place. So many places, all this took so many years. When they actually can just go straight to the land, but because they are not humble enough, because their attitude was wrong, their outlook was wrong, they have to be humble before they can be allowed to enter the promised land.